Hi everyone, welcome back to my dungeon, and today we're going to be talking about the trial with BB Chow versus the McCullochs. This is episode 3, and we are continuing talking about Little Fires Everywhere, the book created by Celeste Nig. And we need to start from the beginning. I remember I talked a little bit about BB Chow in episode 1 and 2, but I really want to make sure that we talk, like, I hit every single point. So the first point is BB's past. So BB used to live in China, and it's called. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. I'm gonna spell it. It's Guangdong, and she lived there in China, and so she moved with someone. I think it was like someone that she was partners with, I believe, and they moved over to San Francisco, and she was working in a dentist's office as a receptionist. At that time, because she didn't really speak that much English, so receptionist job, you don't really have to talk to anyone unless someone comes up to you to ask for you for questions. And the guy that she was with that showed her the job basically told her, hey, let's move to Cleveland because Cleveland is cheaper and you can be able to buy better stuff or buy more stuff for less money, because San Francisco, obviously, California is an expensive state, and Cleveland is cheap because, I feel like everything up north is really cheap. Like Montana. I want to go to Montana. I really want to go to Montana. Like, really, I want to go to Montana. I want to go to Montana. Anyway, yeah. So, BB was just, so he told BB to move up to Cleveland. And so she moved to Cleveland, but the problem about that is that she still doesn't know how to speak English. Well, she does, but her English is not like my English. It's not like, in the book, her English is really broken. So I don't, like, you know what I mean. Um, so her English is not that good, and for the jobs that she was trying to apply for. So she tried to apply for a receptionist, she didn't get it, and she was running really, really low on money. So at the time, she had Mei Ling, which is her baby, and Mei Ling. Babies are expensive, so she didn't have money to be able to pay for Mei Ling. Mei Ling kept crying, and she didn't want to, like, she was just she just didn't want to take care of Mei Ling because there was no money to be like, there wasn't enough money to be able to spend, because so she wanted to have people to take better care of her for temporary until she can stable her life so she can get Mei Ling back. But this is America, and you know how Americans are. So she left the baby outside the front of the fire station, and in the book it showed that she hasn't found her baby in a couple of months. So at that time, the McCullochs found her, Mei Ling, a couple of days later, and they were talking about how she was like cold and sad and whatever. And so during that time of that couple months, they were trying to get custody of Maribel. That's her new name, Maribel. Not Mei Ling, Maribel. And the thing about BB wrote Mei Ling's name on her little paper. She wrote Mei Ling's name on there, but they named her Maribel. And the McCullochs, Linda McCulloch basically said, she was like, oh, there was no name, so we just called her Maribel. No, there was a name. Her name was Mei Ling. They gentrified the baby. So, whatever. I was so mad when I found that out. Oh, sorry, Puppy Sean. I was so mad when I found it out. I was like, come on now. You're gonna justify the freaking baby? Like, please. Give the baby its proper name. You're not even gonna talk about what's it called? The baby's culture and whatnot. Anyway. So they had like this little like get together, like this little party for Mei Ling. Or sorry, we're gonna call her Mei Ling. For this whole entire party for Mei Ling. And the Richardsons were invited. Pearl wasn't invited. Moody tried to invite, I think it was either Moody or Lexi. They tried to invite Pearl to come with them, but Elena was like, no, she's not going to come with us because she's not family, and she always comes with us everywhere. She's always there. I don't want her to be here this time. I don't know. Anyway, so Izzy, obviously being the girl boss that she is, she was like, whenever she found out about when she saw Mei Ling, she was like, okay, does she know her name? You know about her culture, like you just basically sold the baby. And Linda was just trying to make it seem like it was like this big old sob story that Mei Ling was like on the floor crying, blood everywhere, ripped open, guts were flowing out, organs everywhere, that she wasn't taken properly good care of. But, they want to twist up the story and try to make it seem like it was like this big old thing when it really wasn't. They just take care of the baby for a little bit, and then BB came because they had another party, and then BB was saying how, hey, that's my baby, right there, that's my baby, like, give back my baby. And because she found out that it was Linda who had her baby, and they forced BB out. So BB tried calling and calling and calling, trying to tell them, hey, that's my baby, give me back my baby. And Linda was not answering the phone. So BB went over to Mia's house, and she was just talking about, hey, they have my baby and I want my baby back. Because a little bit before, I'm fast forwarding too much, I'm sorry. Prior before that, at the Lucky Palace, Mia noticed or saw that they had they had Mei Ling. That the McCulloughs had Mei Ling, because she noticed that Baby kept talking about a lost baby. So then she told her that was like, oh, they told her, hey, I saw a baby that kind of looks like you. And that's how BB found out about the baby. So then she kept calling. Went to Mia's house. Mia came up with this whole entire game plan. And she said that she was going to help her with, to get custody back. So then I believe it was like a couple of days later or like the next day, BB pressed charges on the McCulloughs because she said that she wanted her baby back and she wanted custody of her baby back. So of course, money talks, and the McCulloughs were like, you know what, let's also press charges against her. We want this baby as well. And the trial really opened up everyone's eyes. Elena was really mad because Mia was fighting for BB. Because Mia had to take a stand at one point, and she was talking about how, like, if she was in like that if she was in BB's shoes, she would want her baby back too. And Elena was just not with that. She was like, girl, I know you're not doing what I think you're doing. So of course, you know how Elena is. She's so mad. So she tried to like twist up all these kind of things and try to like make Mia step down and not do anything, not say too much. Also with the case, Mia had to sell this one painting that she did, or this one picture that she did not want to sell at all. And she got like a lot of money, and she used that money to be able to fund more of the trial, because you know how trials are. They're really expensive. You have to pay for a lot of things. You have to pay for the lawyer. Bill took the stand. Yeah, Bill Richardson, the guy with no backbone, took the stand. I was like, why are you on the stand? Honestly, if this really happened in like real time, like this happened like right now, you know who side I would be on. I would be on BB's side. Like, imagine, like, money is not easy to come by. And I know a lot of people can be like, oh, why'd you have the baby if you know you didn't have any money? People told her that it was supposed to be a cheaper place and that it was supposed to be cheap. So she didn't know. And plus, she is in a different country. So she doesn't know her way around everything. She doesn't know how things work. So you can't really blame BB for what's happened to her baby. And I think it's just annoying with the outcome of the case. And you know how the outcome of the case went. Yeah, they won. The McCulloughs won and had complete custody of Mei Ling. They gentrified her and they took Mei Ling after everything that went down. And like, the main issue with that case is it just shows how money talks and how people will always, like, it's just honestly just about money. It's just, the whole case is about money. And it just doesn't, if I understand that the McCulloughs, they have a problem with infertility. They can't make, like, Linda has a problem with infertility, and it's hard for her to be able to have a baby. But girl, stealing someone else's baby just to be able to have it for yourself is just not, Like, what is wrong with you? Like, do what do what Mia did. Like, they were talking everything about surrogate. They were talking about everything except surrogacy. Like, why can't you just do that? And like, I understand adopting is like a hard process because they talked about in the book how adopting was a really hard process for them. But it's just too much. And to make matters worse, Elena was writing about it too in the local paper, and she was just trying to paint Bebe as like a bad person and everything. It was just, or trying to paint oh no, trying to paint Bebe as a bad person. I'm sorry, Elena trying to paint Bebe as like a bad person, but it's just not fair, and it just shows how you can't get anywhere in these kind of places without having a sum and having a name. I mean, like, come on, like, it's just not fair. And the fact that they stole the baby from her, but this is foreshadowing. I'm going to speak more about it in the next episode, but this is foreshadowing because there's a lot that happened in the end. And I'm just really happy with what happened in the end. But I don't know. Elena has her own problems that she's dealing with. I mean, she went to go visit one of her ex-boyfriends who works at the New York Times. She went to New York, had dinner with him, and was about to go to a hotel with that man. Like, what? Like, Elena, you have your own problems. And I just don't like it. I just don't like the story because they literally took her baby. If someone stole my son, it's hands. It's hands. And I would do the same thing that baby did in the next episode. Well, what she did the next episode. I just, I don't know. And I believe also with like this time period too, if people were really woke, like how we are right now in 2023, I feel like this story would have had like a different like turnaround, because with the 90s, of course, people had like this like more like this like more conservative like outlook, or like this more conservative like look toward things. But with like now how people are more of like a liberal stance, people want to look at it more differently, or like it's kind of hard to explain, but like if that case took happen right now, the amount of buzz that it would get, like Cleveland is a big city, and Shaker Heights is kind of like Keller. Like, you know how like what's going on right now with like the whole Keller High School, the Keller High School mascot. You know how much buzz that got? I feel like the whole case would have gotten like more of a buzz than what the symbol got. And I really wished this book took place more further, but you know, I can't really tell the writer what to do. But if this took place in like in the further time, y'all, like, y'all, I would be, oh, I would be so happy, because Bibi would have gotten her baby back, and then people would like start coming after McCulloch's. But like, I think they did something with like the lawyer, because ain't no way that they won full custody. Like, not even like a partial custody. They won full. They had complete control over Mei Ling. And that's not fair to me. That's not fair. Okay, yeah, money talks, but like maybe give her some. Like, maybe give her some ability to see her baby. It's not fair to me, and it's really not. Like, this entire story, or like this entire trial, just really showed the true colors of how money is, and having a name just like puts you more on a higher pillar than people who have less. And she talked about her financial struggles, but I think they tried to interpret it to make it seem like she was there's one word to speak about, to say whenever like someone has like, whenever negligent, they try to make her seem like she was like a negligent mother, but she's not negligent. She just didn't have money. Like, sometimes some people just don't got no money. I don't know. Anyway, the next episode, we're going to be talking about the ending. And the ending, yeah, it is probably one of my favorite endings.